guys, it's Becca again. I actually decided to do this episode about facts on epilepsy, just to help raise some awareness again and teach people what epilepsy really is. Because a lot of people don't understand, or there's misunderstandings, and there's just a lot to go through. And I actually wrote down a few pointers because otherwise I will instantly forget what I was talking about. But let's get started on some facts. Epilepsy is just misfiring in your brain. It's abnormal brain cell function. It's what they usually describe as a lightning storm in your brain. Cells are misfiring constantly, and that's what causes the seizure. One myth is people always say that you could swallow your tongue while you're having a seizure. Well, it's actually physically impossible to do. So don't ever worry about the person having a seizure swallowing their tongue on accident. Also, good pointer, don't put anything in their mouth when they're having a seizure. I know you want to put something there to protect them, but it won't. It will do more damage in the long run. They could bite their tongue even worse. They could chip teeth. A lot of things can happen because when you're having a seizure, your jaw is just so clenched. I mean, I've chipped teeth. I've broken all of these teeth. They're all fake. Don't put anything in anyone's mouth. Another thing, a main thing would be, and I know this is a hard one. A lot of people don't do it, but just try your best. When the person is having a seizure, turn them on their side so that they can breathe, and so that if they do throw up, they won't aspirate. Along with time the seizure from start to when they're done shaking. Consciousness is not really, I would time that separately of how long it takes them to actually come to. Another misconception, and a lot of people, I've heard this a few times from people, but epilepsy is not contagious. I can't just sneeze near you or cough and you all of a sudden have epilepsy. That is not how that works. 1 in 26 people develop epilepsy in their life. It's not that uncommon of a disease. It really isn't. 1 million people have uncontrolled epilepsy. So I'm part of that 1 million that have uncontrolled epilepsy. That's pretty much 50% have uncontrolled epilepsy, where no medication, no devices, any treatment, nothing is working for them, and they just have to learn how to live with it, control their stress, sleep a lot, and just manage it, pretty much. You can die from seizures. It is called SUDEP, SUDEP, sudden unexplained death in epilepsy. So they don't know what causes that. They do know that SUDEP could be either you sleeping and you have a seizure in your sleep and you die, or it could be having a seizure too long to where you're just not getting enough oxygen, your brain can't handle all of the misfiring, and you end up passing away. I wouldn't say it's common. 1 in every 1,000 die a year due to SUDEP. So, that is scary. I've always thought about that. I'm always like, am I going to wake up the next day? Could something happen to me? It's something I have to worry about constantly, is if I'm going to wake up the next day, or if my seizures aren't going to last long. It's a scary thing, and people with epilepsy need to think about that. Worry about it. I know, you shouldn't stress, but that should be on the back of your mind, that it is possible to die from seizures. I mean, 65 million people in the world have epilepsy. That's only 3.4 people, or 3.4 million people in the United States alone. So the rest of the world, that's a lot of people. That's 60, 61, I don't know, something like that. I'm not good with math. Millions of people suffer from epilepsy. And millions have uncontrolled epilepsy. It's because there's no cure. It's not talked about. There's no awareness of what epilepsy truly is. So there isn't a cure. I wish people would understand that. Donate to your local charities of epilepsy, or go online and find the Epilepsy Foundation website. They're amazing. I've donated to them a lot, actually. I've also donated to the Epilepsy Foundation of Wisconsin because that's where I'm from. I just want a cure. I want to be cured. I want to live a normal life. I want to drive. I want to have a job. I want that normalcy. So finding a cure is a huge thing on my bucket list, besides advocating for it and bringing awareness to not only that, but the bullying, like I talked about in my last video. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, okay, yeah, that's my last one then. Epilepsy is the fourth most common neurological disease. So, I mean, it's up there. It is pretty up there on the scale. I don't know what the other three are. I just know that epilepsy is the fourth most common neurological disease. And if you think about that, if it's that common, why isn't it talked about? I've talked to people about when I split my head open, or when I have bruises and my face is swollen. People ask, oh, what happened? And when I say I had a seizure, they always ask me, what's a seizure? And when I follow up with epilepsy and talk about it, they're like, what's epilepsy? And they get really confused. It's like, that's how little is talked about. At all. It's not talked about. It's not talked about on a daily basis. You don't have a conversation on the street with someone about epilepsy. It's not talked about. And I'm not saying that we need to be all sympathetically all donating a bunch of money and everyone talking about it. I'm just saying it needs to be talked about more. People need to listen. They need to also help spread awareness. If we could get the word out there that epilepsy, although people can live with it and they can live normal lives, others, such as myself, cannot. We cannot have normal lives. We cannot do the same things that an everyday normal person can do. I can't do it due to my seizures. My epilepsy has brought my life of working multiple jobs and having a vehicle of my own to crashing down, and I no longer have either of those. Yes, I bought a house, and that's amazing. That's a big accomplishment. It's huge. I have a son. That's another big thing. Huge. A lot of people with epilepsy struggle with should they have children or shouldn't they, due to the fact that seizures do tend to worsen during a pregnancy because of hormones, up and down, roller coastering. I barely made it through my pregnancy. I was constantly having seizures. I was constantly in the hospital. I was pretty much hospitalized the whole time. But my son is perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with him. No neurological problems. I'm so thankful for that. I got lucky. I really did. But aspects of epilepsy, I would say people who have it controlled, even through like a medication or a VNS, whatever they chose to do, those who have it controlled, they don't know how lucky they truly are. Because there are a lot of us out there, millions, who are struggling and can't do the normal things that an average person can do. And it's hard to get it through people's heads of how life-altering epilepsy truly is, because they might not have experienced it themselves. If you experience a seizure yourself, you'd understand it a little better, but I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I don't want anyone else going through what I go through on a daily basis with my epilepsy. I struggle daily. I'm emotional daily, and I do blame it on the epilepsy and other health disorders I have too. I struggle with stress, anxiety. I get upset obviously very easily. No one wants to just be doing one thing and then all of a sudden coming to and they're laying there on the floor or doing something else and they don't remember what happened in that few-minute time lapse of blackness. It sucks. It really does, because I have gone from, I was looking for my dogs the other day, and when we found them, they're all of a sudden, like the snap of my fingers, 20-minute time period of complete black, of where I was mentally gone. Nothing but blackness. Nothing, I don't recall anything. And waking up with the bloody head and having to go to the hospital to get staples. It's not fun waking up and having 30-minute periods of your life gone. Gone before your eyes. This is gone. Do you know why? No, you don't know why. It's uncontrolled. You take your medication? Yeah, I do. I do it every day. I've never missed a dose. Still have seizures. They've played around with my medication. They upped it, they lower it, they changed different brands, and so on and so forth. Has that helped? No. I think the longest period I've gone without a seizure was back when I first started having them when I was a teenager. I would go and have them twice a year. I would have 2 a year. So every 6 months I would have one. That was the longest period I would go. And since I've had my son, it is weekly. So having a child has definitely changed my epilepsy. It's something to think about for those who are, on the fence of having a child. Do think of, even write a list. Do something like that. Do pros and cons of having a baby and your health. Do you want to risk it? Do you want the long-term side effects? Maybe there are short-term side effects. I don't know. I've just had them weekly since I've had my son. So that's 3 years. But yet again, I am trying for another child. Regardless of how bad my epilepsy is, I figured, at least in my mind, how much worse could it get? I'm going to see, because I'm going to have another child. I want another child. Bad. Pros and cons list, my boyfriend is definitely on the fence. Me on the other hand, I've made up my mind. I want another child. Just waiting. I'm giving him time to decide on what he thinks is best, because I know He's just worried about me. That's the main thing. He doesn't want to see me go through what happened the first time I had our son, when we had our son. It was constantly at the hospital and him constantly missing work because he was there for me every step of the way. He's an amazing father. I don't think I give him enough credit. I appreciate everything he does for me. From taking care of me after seizures, taking care of me while I'm having auras. When I get too stressed, he takes care of me. He takes care of me emotionally, physically. He helps me get up and down the stairs. He helps me get, to the bathroom if I need it after a seizure. He's always there for me. And he doesn't judge. And that's the thing that is making our relationship probably as amazing as it is because he doesn't judge me for my disorder or my other health problems. He never has. And that's what I feared. I feared if I ever dated someone, they would judge me for my seizures or see one and be terrified and leave. Him, on the other hand, yes, he said he was scared when I had a seizure in front of him, but he eventually learned that if he wants to be with me, epilepsy is a part of me, and he will have to deal with that too. And he chose to stay with me. We've been together 4.5 years, and happiest years of my life. He's my rock. He literally has been there for me through everything, and I appreciate everything he does. I appreciate him so much. And I know that there are people with epilepsy who are struggling with relationships and dating. Take the risk. Take the risk. Find someone who will be there for you through everything. But if they can't accept that epilepsy is part of you and that things may happen, then that person isn't the right person for you. You can find someone who is better, someone who will help take care of you, someone who will get you ice packs when you hit your head or take you to the hospital, someone who just simply is there for you. You can find that. Everyone deserves someone who cares for them and who loves them no matter what. No matter what disease or illness they have. They accept them for who they are. And I think that everyone has that special someone out there. They just need to find them. And I really hope that all of you who are struggling with that find your person. You deserve it. You deserve happiness too. Just because people have illnesses or diseases and any of that, people who have epilepsy, others who have epilepsy, you deserve happiness. Everyone does. And we need to think about that. We need to think about how, like my shirt, it's backwards, but take care of yourself. Think about yourself. Think about how to make yourself happy. It'll take the load off. It takes the stress away. It actually helps with your medical problems. Staying happy, staying fit, staying healthy. It's all part of taking care of yourself. Put yourself first for once. Take a leap, take a step forward and find that perfect relationship. I mean, no relationship's perfect, but that relationship that you think is perfect in your mind and will last forever. You have a person out there. It's just a matter of you finding them. So I probably should be done rambling now. I need to put my son to bed. Thank you everyone who's been watching my videos. It's amazing. I didn't expect that many people, even though it's only 25 people. But I never expected, this to become a thing. I didn't expect that me talking about epilepsy so much and spreading awareness would become a thing. I was scared that it would fail. But I'm happy that it is, it's taking off and that people are watching. Hopefully they are listening too and understanding that epilepsy is not contagious. Epilepsy is not going to hurt you. Yes, it'll hurt the person that it happens to, but it's something you need to understand, something that you can explain to others, and something that you can accept someone else for. And love them, don't judge them, accept them for who they are. Like, as I always say, I should just get this tattooed on me, I swear. Epilepsy is not who you are. Epilepsy is a part of you. And that is something that people, or epileptics, people with seizures, any of that, it's something that you need to think of. It's just a part of you, just a tiny piece of you. It is not who you are. You make yourself special. You choose your path in life. You choose who to associate with, where your journey is going to go. But the epilepsy, don't let it control you. Even if it's uncontrolled, don't let it control you. Take charge, take care of yourself, love yourself, and stay healthy. Just stay healthy. Well, I love you guys. Bye.